That's right, I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer today as a punishment. If I can't find joy watching the Broncos, then I don't deserve joy drinking. I'm a devoted fan. It tastes so good, though. Does it? Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna, and the Denver Broncos lost in the worst way possible on Sunday by a barrage of field goals by Greg "The Leg" Zuerlein. Yeah, we're watching all of them as punishment. Punishment for poor play calling, punishment for poor execution, and punishment for poor communication skills when trying to convey complex emotions about your relationship to your girlfriend. That last one is actually just for me. Watching a high-powered offense lose to field goals is like watching a Ferrari lose a drag race to a sprinting drag queen. I saw it happen once when I was in Guadalajara, so it exists. This is a significant game in That's Good Broncos history, not only because it's the lowest scoring game I've ever covered, but because it is the first game with a singular Broncos touchdown. So here it is. The solo Broncos score, as it was this beautiful 42-yard Emmanuel Sanders touchdown, who was also wide open, and I mean wide open. Now, if we watch this touchdown in silence 3 times in a row, we can imagine what it would have looked like to win that fucking game. I hope you have your butt plugs, Broncos, because at 7-3, the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to sneak in the back door. Despite dropping to 7-3, the Broncos still own the lead in the AFC West because they have a better record within the division. But with another loss, this divisional race could turn into a gaping mess. Before Emmanuel Sanders was forced to spend the rest of the game on the sideline with a concussion he suffered on this cringe-worthy hit by Rodney McLeod, he was tearing it up. Sanders had 5 catches for 102 receiving yards and a touchdown before exiting the game at the beginning of the third quarter. Those are pretty good stats for a full game. And again, Emmanuel Sanders exploits St. Louis rookie cornerback E.J. Gaines. E.J. Gaines should be named B.I.G. Gaines, because that's what he gives receivers, big gains. Circulating back to the Emmanuel Sanders hit that took him out of the game, when I first saw the hit, I was livid. I thought it was a cheap shot by McLeod, but after looking at it again, I just think it was a vicious but football-appropriate hit by McLeod. Sanders laid himself out to make that catch, and it could be argued that he was in a defenseless position. But if I say that, then I am backing the NFL's stance on trying to turn football into soccer. So as much as I hated to see it, and as nasty as it looked, I think it was a fair shot on Sanders. Oh, I did not say that. I just want to prove for a second that I'm not an unreasonable human being. Let's look at the Rams' only touchdown from the game when Kenny Britt burned Bradley Roby for a 63-yard touchdown. Roby's biggest mistake was trying to play the ball after he'd already been beat instead of just sucking it up and making the tackle on Britt. The reason I'm showing this is so we can all watch Shaun Hill celebrate after the touchdown. If this were Fuck You Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers, I'd be pissed because I hate those guys. This, however, is the first TD pass Hill's thrown since 2012 when he played for Detroit. His celebration is in fact appropriate. Now, Manning doesn't do shit like this because he acts like he's been there before. Rivers and Brady's do shit like this because they're dicks on the field. And Shaun Hill did it because he hasn't been there before. Well, at least for long enough where he forgot what it feels like. So, congratulations, Shaun Hill. On the defensive side of the ball, I was ready to award DeMarcus Ware with the Big Dick Player of the Game award had the Broncos ended up winning the game. But since they lost, he's getting nothing. Well, except his millions of dollars in annual salary. I wanted to give him the award for this brutal sack he had on Shaun Hill. Just take a look at Shaun Hill's face as he gets hit. Oh! Whoa! Oh! The only shitty thing about this play is that the fumble magically bounced back into Hill's possession. At this point, I realized the reason Jeff Fisher switched to Shaun Hill is because Shaun was anointed by the Saint of Luck, which I believe is St. Louis himself. I could be wrong because I've never been bored enough to read about Saints, but the evidence was clear. That fumble and this pass that was batted into the air by Malik Jackson, which then bounces off lineman Greg Robinson's helmet and back into Sean Hill's hands for a completion, are undeniable evidence of the luck of St. Louis. Furthermore, Dan Fouts is stealing my commentating style.
Malik Jackson just with a volleyball spike, a real good set too for Greg Robinson.
I believe I use volleyball terms to describe a play during a game earlier this season. If I can borrow from volleyball, that's a bump, set, and spike. I'm watching you, Fouts, you commentary stealing son of a bitch. What's next? You gonna give somebody a Big Dick Player Award? Well, actually, if you did that, I would be very impressed. Try saying Big Dick on CBS, you fucking pussy. There goes my chances of ever getting a fucking show on CBS. Learn to keep your mouth shut, Brandon. Now, I can't go back into time and voodoo control John Fox to help him manage the game clock better, or voodoo control Adam Gase to make Peyton Manning run the ball more, but I can make us all feel just a little bit better by pointing out how silly the Rams are. Let's start with their fans. What the hell are these guys supposed to be? Dead clowns? The clowns of St. Louis? Is that what you want your team to be known for? Nobody has ever said the only thing the NFL is lacking is a significant amount of clowns. Not even Jadeveon Clowney's parents would say that. Here's a general note to all NFL fans. Just because you're going to a football game does not mean you have to wear dumb costumes. Football and Halloween are not the same fucking thing. The only fan in the stadium worse than the clown crew was Solo Confused Dude. Hey buddy, which team are you rooting for?
I'm Mr. Elliott Indifferent. Elliott may not be able to climb the corporate ladder, but in this stadium, Elliott is in control of his life. No matter what happens on the field today, Elliott walks out of here a winner.
It also looks like Greg Williams was about 36 cents short of being able to pay his barber to finish his hair dye job. Oh, this is exciting. I've also invented a new award, and it's the Douche of the Game Award, which is going to the douche of St. Louis, who just happens to be Janoris Jenkins. Jenkins knocks the ball off of the line of scrimmage for no fucking reason, idiot. That just cost your team a delay of game penalty. I've been watching football for a long time, but I don't believe I've ever seen that happen before. In conclusion, and yes, I sometimes do have a fucking point, the Broncos, if they continue to play the way they are playing, may only be able to win the Super Bowl by 3 points. Fight it! Fight it! Be honest! If they continue to play the way they're playing, they're not even gonna get to the Super Bowl. There, I said it. The Broncos have not looked very good for the last 3 weeks. Think about this, the Rams and the Broncos both only scored 1 touchdown Sunday, and yet the Rams won by 15 points because they have a fucking field goal kicker. The Broncos are playing the game as if they don't even have a field goal kicker on the team. Our offense was riddled by injuries Sunday. Losing Monty Ball, Emmanuel Sanders, and Julius Thomas was a major blow to the offense. But it was poor game planning, play calling, and a lack of execution that cost the Broncos a victory. And let's hope to see improvement by next Sunday. I do believe the Broncos can and will bounce back from this. Every team is faced with challenges throughout the season, and every team goes through a period where they get pretty banged up. And that's where we're heading right now. We will find out a lot about the character of the team and the strength of this team over the next few weeks. But as a Denver faithful, I have faithfulness in them. Thanks for watching That's Good Broncos. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and click here to watch the Big Dick Player episode. Yes, I have a Big Dick Player episode that I think you will be interested in seeing, because under my own accord, I decided to give it to a St. Louis Ram. I also wanted to thank my friend Jeff for sending me this Manning shirt, even though the first time I wore it, we lost. Now you can find all of Jeff's shirts at fanbuild.com, and maybe Jeff and I are working on some very cool That's Good Broncos shirts. Maybe we are.